Hello, I'm Darren. Welcome to my first official long-form recipe project video. This time it's featuring my latest concept for Halloween 2022. So I was going for something I could make for a Halloween party. So it had to be bite-sized and something easy to eat. The concept I was going for was something to do with lava cake. Personally, I don't have much of a sweet tooth, but when I think of sweets that are at the top of my list, lava cake is one of those things I love because it's not too sweet if I'm using dark chocolate, and who doesn't love the gooey richness that oozes out when you cut into it? I first tried to make lava cake pops, but I found they were far too small and would be virtually impossible to cook it the way you cook a normal sized lava cake. I would not have been able to achieve the ratio of lava to cake that I desired. After testing a few ideas, I eventually landed on this concept through some experimentation here and there. Essentially, this is a chocolate chunk and toffee cookie with whipped ganache and toffee sprinkles. So first we'll start with the base, which is the cookie part. I took a basic chocolate chunk cookie recipe and then I modified it to suit this project. You'll see here that I have brown sugar, white sugar, salt, brown butter, egg, cacao powder, flour, dark chocolate chunks, and toffee chips. Now I didn't have time to test the brown butter before this video, but plain melted butter actually worked better here, which I'll explain later in the video. Here I'm starting on the ganache. Ganache is really simple. It's usually 1 part chocolate to 1 part cream, but for this version, I will be replacing 1/4 of the chocolate with dulce de leche, just to give it some more flavor dimension. If you notice, I did not get these chopped up quite as finely as you should for ganache. It would have been better to use my knife to cut up the small pebbles of chocolate into even finer pieces, kind of like pencil shavings. The reason for this is so the chocolate can dissolve thoroughly into the cream, which will affect how it gets whipped later on. If you look closely, you'll see the tiny brown specks. Fortunately, with some preparation, I have a previously made batch which I will be using later on in the video. Next, I'm taking the dough which has chilled overnight in the fridge. I let it warm up a little to make it more pliable, then I use my tablespoon measure to put 1 portion of dough into each section of the pan. It is a takoyaki pan that I originally tried to make lava cake pops with. The dough I'm using here is half of the portion that was shown previously. I had prepared this beforehand. You see, there's a bit extra after using the 16 tablespoons worth of dough to fit 1 pan. So why did I use a takoyaki pan? Well, it's because the round bottom that it created reminded me of a witch's cauldron, which was part of the Halloween inspiration. Now I'm putting it into the preheated oven at 350 Fahrenheit for about 15 minutes. Ta-da! They're ready! Remember when I mentioned plain melted butter? When I used that, the cookie actually expanded to create an edge overflowing the mold, which was perfect for holding extra ganache as well as giving it a crispy edge, which I prefer. I think it's because brown butter has less water that this came out more dense than compared to the plain butter. Here I'm whipping the ganache. It's the same as making whipped cream, just whip until you get stiff peaks. Now it's time to assemble. I have some toffee chips here on the side, which I pulverize with my mortar and pestle. First I take a cookie base, then I pile on a half sphere of whipped ganache. Then some toffee sprinkles to finish it off. Gooey chocolatey toffee cookie, light but decadent whipped ganache, and toffee sprinkles to give all sorts of textures as well as rich chocolatey flavor. Did you like my video? Subscribe if you want to see future videos. Thanks for watching. Special thanks to my friend Wing Chu for helping me record the video.